Hello, how's it going? Today I'm going to be doing a video for parents, which is going to answer the question of how do I get my child to practice the piano? And this can be applicable to any instrument as well, because we're not just talking about kind of the technical aspects of piano, we're talking about reasons why a child might not want to practice, and also reasons that we can give that child to want to practice. So say you've got a child and they've been playing piano for a few months, they've been getting some lessons maybe, or maybe they've been getting a few like classroom based lessons at school, but they're not practicing, and you're trying to get them to practice, you're telling them to practice, but if you do manage to get them behind the piano, then it's only for a short amount of time, or maybe they're not doing the work that they're set, maybe they're just kind of noodling around. So there's a few aspects in answering this question. The chief one though really is the child interested in playing an instrument? And if they're not interested in playing an instrument, then the question you have to ask yourself is, what can you do to get them interested in playing an instrument? Okay, and this can be, gosh, there are so many different ways in which you can think about this. First of all, you can think about how do you portray the subject of playing an instrument to the piano? Do you say to the child, do you portray it in a way of like it's the same as doing maths homework, or are you portraying it as kind of like a fun thing to do? Are you kind of portraying it as something they could do it with their friends, or as like a solitary activity? How involved are you with the kind of music making? Do you supervise their practice, or do you just kind of tell them to go to the piano and play an instrument and play the piano? Which this is kind of a subsection of answering this question. Where is the piano in the house? Okay, this is a big one. If the piano is in the child's bedroom and they spend most of their time in the living room playing, or playing video games or watching TV or something, then that piano isn't at the forefront of their mind. The piano should be somewhere in a high traffic area of the house. When I was a kid, the piano was in the hallway of the house. So when we walked in, the first thing that you saw was the piano, and that was what I would do a lot of the time. I'd come home from school, I might get myself a drink or something, and then I'd sit and play the piano, because I was like, oh cool, that's something to do for the next, hour or something. Also, what is the home environment like musically for your child? Are you listening to music? Do you take an interest in music? Okay, children often emulate, for better or worse, their parents, right? So if you're not interested in music, if there's not music playing in the house, then the child is less likely to be curious. If you could approach the piano with a kind of attitude, if you don't play yourself, of like, oh, what is this thing? Let's try and figure it out together, instead of being like, you're the one who's taking the instrument lessons, and so you should be the one that should know what to do. Okay, all of these things are going to encourage your child to practice their instrument a bit more. It's not all down to you though. If your child is getting lessons, then the teacher should be portraying this way of playing the piano in a fun way, not in a kind of, oh, this is hard work, this is homework kind of way. With my students, I don't like to use the word homework. I don't want them to feel like practicing an instrument is any kind of like work, at least for the first year of playing with the young children, okay? It should be about making the instrument as fun and as accessible and as interesting as possible, because once that association is made of an instrument is fun instead of an instrument is work, then you've got it sorted for the next few years of playing the piano, okay? They'll associate that feeling of going to the piano lesson, or that feeling of sitting behind the piano, as a fun experience, instead of, or as at least a positive one, instead of something that they have to drag themselves towards. So in a nutshell, create an environment in which your child finds it fun to learn the instrument, or at least doesn't find it hard work, okay? And also make sure that your teacher is doing the right things and isn't setting a really hard practice regime for your young child, okay? Because it's just not necessary at this stage. You can't force your children to practice, okay? You should never do that, and I don't advocate it. But you can create an environment in which they want to practice, and that is key for establishing good practice and playing habits in the early days. Okay, I hope that kind of answers the question. If you liked this video, please give it a like. If you want more people to see it, then please share it. And also, if you have any questions for me regarding the piano, regarding music, or life in general, please let me know, and I will do a video response to your answer, okay? I'm going to go quiet for a few days now because it's the bank holiday weekend. I hope you all have a lovely Easter, and I will see you very soon. Bye.